Welcome everybody to Astro Monday. My name is Ra of Earth. You can find me at Ra_of_Earth. I'm about to bring on Christopher Witecki onto this broadcast of Astro Monday. So here he is. Let's find out what everything means right now. And guys, drop where you're calling from or where you're watching from and what's
Yep.
been going on over the last week. What's
Hey,
up,
Marty,
brother?
how are you?
Good, good.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. I just popped on and good to see you here. So I
I
didn't even,
know. I'm starting to get back in alignment, man. I'm starting to get back into alignment. It's crazy.
yeah.
I
Is
was out of alignment for a long time.
is
It was difficult.
is that according to the planets? Is that in sync with everything?
Well, yes. I mean, it's Christopher Witecki responding to the planets in an inappropriate way. I mean, not really. I just have so many things on my plate. It was really hard. I was telling like my organization, kind of like I'm sorry I've been late, kind of like talk with Sirius Joy because I've been late a lot. But I explained to
Mm,
them, it's like I'm this incredibly challenging time. Like what we just went through in the last year where we're clearing all of our karma that goes all the way back to like Atlantis. We're clearing all of our karma and we're growing and there's, AI is coming out and, the world is speeding up. Like you have to be a spiritual athlete to really pull it off, and if you're ambitious like I am, then things get a little out of control and that's what happened. So, but I'm living out now. The plane's leveled out. I feel better. And, there's also a learning curve for us. Like I had to teach a lot of stuff to hand off my duties. And so
hmm.
there was that too. There's a lot of like, training. As Gary, you all and Gary have seen. I mean, Gary's real smart at that. He was training from day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Atlantean energy, I mean, it seems like our technology is evolving at a very, very, very fast pace. And so are we here to like in this time where technology is like almost superseding our ability to comprehend it in a way, like I feel like an old man with this AI and all of the apps coming out. I kind of can't keep up.
mm
But
mm.
is this similar to like Atlantis and the technology that they had and maybe
Interesting.
couldn't really
No,
grasp
they went about
appropriately?
Atlantis went about a different way. Like Atlantis actually, that's a fascinating question you ask because Atlantis had alien technology, and so alien technology taps right into the technology of the planet and life itself. So they were tapped into crystals and the planet and the actual vibrations of the planet. We have been creating artificial everything. We've been like, making artificial medicine. We study Mother Earth and we make artificial medicine. We study this and we make artificial crystals. We make artificial diamonds. We keep making artificial things. And so we're really a mockery of Mother Earth. Right now, as far as the technology is concerned, we're a mockery of the human mind. We're really actually not. Atlantis was smarter because they actually came from, alien technology. And so the aliens had figured that out ages ago,
Hmm.
basically working with the planet. So the difference
Right.
is their technology worked with the planet. That's why it was able to destroy the planet almost, because it worked with the planet. It spoke the planet's language.
I know exactly what you're talking about because
Hmm.
structures are made of stone and they worked with the energy lines throughout the earth. But for somebody who maybe has never heard this before, I'd like you to elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by their technology was working with the planet and ours is artificial.
Atlantis had knowledge, deep knowledge of the planet because Atlantis was built by aliens and angels, basically. And yeah, we're good. And what that means is that they were given, they understood these aliens. They understood how the planet was formed. They understood what energies lie to the planet. How all the different dimensions that are involved in the planet too. It's not just one dimension, right? Anyways, their technology is all based on harnessing that technology. That's what the pyramids are. The pyramids harness that technology. There's a rumor that the first pyramids that were built, were just stabilize the Earth after Atlantis' fall. Like the Earth was way fucked up, and they had to put these like almost like acupuncture these pyramids down, sort of like regain the magnetic flow correctly on the Earth because they got so thrown off by what Atlantis was doing. And what Atlantis was doing was supercharging crystals. Like they were charging crystals. They found a way to charge crystals. They found a way to we would listen to records on a crystal. So they listen to music on crystals. It was all stored in crystals. Everything was stored in crystals, and so they put power in crystals, and they would charge crystals. So the crystals, like their batteries, they would like have rechargeable batteries. They have rechargeable crystals. The crystals were charged by the sun. So like so there was only so much electricity at night, and they had airplanes, but they couldn't fly them at night because they needed the sun. So they didn't have anything besides solar power. So it's like if God didn't make it, they couldn't do anything with it. Like, so they didn't make anything that God didn't make. Atlantis. They didn't
Yeah.
synthesize anything. They took what God had and they learned the secrets of it. and how it worked. And then they used those secrets to do things. So so they were much more of a purified technology than we are. Much more
I
pure.
mean, yeah, I would love to talk about that for the whole hour, but I know we have
Yeah.
other topics to get
You're
into.
right. Talking about Atlantis. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well,
There's a
here
full
we are.
moon, right? Coming up?
Oof, yeah, I mean, it's coming up. In fact, that full moon, ultimately where we are, like last week, I was so out of it too. I mean, honestly, it was a fog as we went into Scorpio. So if people don't know that, the 12 signs or 12 states of awareness. Human beings have states of awareness, 12 reasons that we are alive. We have, we have thoughts. That's the reason why we're alive. We know that. We have thoughts. We have emotion. We have our heart, this Leo. We have Virgo, our body. We have Libra, our ability to relate to people. And so zero Scorpio. Scorpio is the number zero. And what Scorpio is the space between things. And believe it or not, the space between things is intelligent. And just like everything of God is intelligent. And so we have space between things, and that space between things determines lots of things. If I put a lot of space between when you and I talk next time, we might say, "Oh, I missed you. I have so much space between us." Close the space, we get closer. I mean, but space is a huge deal. And so when you go through Scorpio, you basically every year are updating your space. You're like, okay, I need this much space inside of me. I need to separate this from this and separate alcohol from, every meal, or whatever. And really space and time. That's what Scorpio is, the space and time involved. How much space and time are we going to use for this or that or this or that? That's what the zero represents is space and time, how much we're going to use. So when we go through every year, we change that, we upgrade it. But this year, because we've had so many changes, so many things coming to full point. So we have just to, for you to understand, it's like Saturn is now back in Aries, and that hasn't been there since the mid 90s. So that's a huge 30-year cycle, right? Uranus has not been in Gemini since World War II. So, that was a long time ago. It was during conflict. Neptune was not in Pisces and Aries since, the Civil War. Pluto is not in Capricorn since the American Revolution. So America in particular is really up for some karmic cycles because America is up for every major war we've had. We're 1 year old, but one of those planets. By one of those planets, we're 1 year old. We're one cycle around. So that means we're turning one, really. We are turning one. As far as the planets are concerned, the United States. Now, here's what's going to blow your mind. The United States is actually the new Atlantis. That's really what it is. I mean, it's always been that. It's like everyone's here.
Hmm.
The dream, the forefathers, they knew this. They knew it was new Atlantis. Everyone, knew it was going to be the new Atlantis. Atlantis said it was coming back, and here it is. So there's a mind blow right there. But the point is that because we're coming to a full circle of all these planets are going back to one, back to one, back to one, or back to zero. This time the zero is profoundly different. This
Wait, wait,
time,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah,
Sorry. Sorry,
yeah,
I didn't mean to cut you off. You're on a roll. But I
okay.
wanted to ask about the new Atlantis.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
It
Chris.
just hit you just
So
now.
are the people that left Europe, did they do that with the knowledge that we need to go to a new land to start New
No,
Atlantis?
no, those people left because they wanted freedom of religion. Okay,
Okay.
but Atlantis always had their eyes on America, but America was frozen under a glacier. It was not populated. They only
Oh,
had,
actual Atlantis.
yeah, Atlantis was, Cuba is the last landmass of Atlantis. It's the last standing landmass. That's it,
Cuba.
Cuba, yeah. So Atlantis went around Lake of Cuba and went into the Atlantic Ocean where basically it was almost the entire Atlantic Ocean. It's kind of weird.
Right.
Like it was
Atlantis.
all the way to Africa. It was just, you could see Africa off our coast. You see Africa. And if you went on the other side of the country, you could see America and its glacier. So America was under frozen ice. So they dreamed about being on that land when the ice melted. And some idiots actually thought about melting it, but thank God they didn't, because that's how arrogant they were. They would just do shit like that to the earth and not pay attention, just like we do, right? So anyway, so they had always dreamed about Atlantis. And so it's somewhere in our ethos that we're going to have that land. The America was going to be for that.
Okay, got it. So that's where the connection is. It was actually the people of Atlantis
Always
projecting.
wanted it.
Yeah.
And they're here. I mean, they're my clients. I can't tell you how many Atlantean citizens I read a week. It's clear in the chart how you determine that too, by the way.
Oh,
It's,
nice.
yeah, you can. It's very simple to determine, and actually, it's funny too because I tell them you're gonna start having dreams about Atlantis, and sure as shit, man, they're coming in now and they're telling me about their dreams about Atlantis. It's awakening because Pluto's in Aquarius, so the vibrations are now starting to come out of hibernation, and so the memories are starting to reactivate and so reanimate, and so yeah. It's all here. So this is the last major realization we have. We have cleared we have faced all of our fears so let's go take a couple steps back, okay? What happened was is the entire Earth, the entire solar system swings like this in front of the galactic center. The galactic center is the vaginal canal that the entire universe, our universe, was blown out of. That's where the Big Bang came from. That's the Big Bang, and the center of it, of course, is a black hole sucking things in, but it's also spitting things out. Okay, and what's spitting out are like some sort of active particles that we don't understand fully, but we know they're coming out of it. And so when you're in front of the bandwidth of the galactic center, everything on Earth, everything vibrates, everything is alive. It's all lit up by these particles. Okay, but when the solar system swings this way or swings this way out of it, we come out of that particles, and so we shut down. We kind of go into a slumber. A lot of our vibrations shuts down. We have density, and so we go through a dark age. And so this has been going for the beginning of time, right? So what's happened is that after Atlantis was when we were in the middle of the thing. The civilization was built 26,000 years ago, right in the middle, right in the highest point, because it was built by aliens and also by angels. Angels actually manipulated aliens. They actually manipulate and do things like that into building it for them. But long story short, it was a perfect society built by the angels and the aliens. Okay, what happened is they had never known bad or anything like that, and so as they started to swing towards the dark, and the other aliens came in that wanted the land, it was a property grab. And what happened was they started influencing Atlantis to start waging war on these other things. And so, as Atlantis, so just as Atlantis fell, everything went dark. All of our memories were suppressed. We no longer had past life memory access when we were alive. So when we incarnated, we had no access to our past life memories. It was like every time we came to Earth, it was a brand new. We're brand new. We had no ideas that we were reincarnated. In Atlantis, you had full memory of every lifetime, and you lay down and you died. You just lay down and died. You didn't. There was no disease. You just fell asleep and you're gone. That's it. Like, so it was
Just
very sophisticated.
transitioned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, you're waking up technically. This is a dream, remember? And we're right now in heaven asleep. So we went to sleep here so we could wake up there. It's weird. So that said, I'm not sure where we're going with this. So it was always wanted to be. Atlantis wanted to be on America. They wanted that land, and they were finding Lemuria, Lemuria was in the Pacific Ocean, similar. And these were part of, you ever seen the picture of the Earth where like it's all one landmass? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then they also
Pangea.
Pangea. Well, if you look at Pangea, Atlantis is right there.
Right.
It's right there. It's the center one that's hooking up. It's right there in the middle. And so it was very unstable the whole time. It was going to fall in the ocean no matter what. I don't know who, the angels decided to put on there, but, one of my jobs then was, in fact, I was one of the people that noticed Atlantis was sinking because I was doing I was doing this stuff with the stars to do the astrology, because I was astrologer back then. And I noticed the stars and like all the settings were off. Like the settings kept like moving too fast. I'm like, wait, the stars should not move that fast. And I realized the land was like fucking going down, right? So I figured it out. Like, so I was one of the people that figured out that it was sinking, actually, from what I understand. Yeah, of course it was, right? That's me. So, anyways, that's Atlantis. Yeah,
And
but
here you are now.
so we have remembered everything through the Dark Ages now. We've integrated all that stuff since 2012. The Mayan shift was the end of the last chapter of like the Dark Ages had to awaken, and now we will, as we go further into the vibration, further in front of the galactic center. We will now begin to remember and reanimate our Atlantean memories. And until we have cleared the trauma of our Atlantis death, which is the most horrible trauma we've ever had. Whenever the human race is worried about a nuclear war, they're remembering Atlantis. Whenever they're thinking about famine, they're remembering Atlantis. And whenever they're like yelling at Trump, they're remembering Atlanta, like King Atlas.
Hey now,
King Atlas, yeah.
I just want to validate what you're saying about the wobble and us shifting towards the galactic center, because there is this guy, I think his name was James Spottiswoode.
Mm-hmm.
Spottiswoode. I don't know. He's like I think he was CIA, but he went and looked at all of their experiments that they were doing with remote viewers, because CIA uses remote viewers.
They do, yes.
And he was like looking at the accuracy of them over like thousands of experiments, and he noticed that there was a spike, a 400% increase in psychic energy when at the time of the experiment on the location on Earth, if it was facing the center of the galaxy, there was a 400% spike in the accuracy of the remote viewing. So even just on Earth on a day-to-day basis, where we're facing, if we're facing the center of the galaxy, it increases our psychic ability. So as a whole, if the solar system's also shifted that way, it increases our consciousness level.
100%. Yeah, yeah. And they were aware of this. I mean, they were this happened, and they plan on plan on going to another planet during that time, during Dark Ages. But they got they destroyed themselves. So So here's where we are. So we are waking up, and so a Scorpio, going back to today, Scorpio's a zero. Well, now this zero is fucking big. Okay, what we thought the Earth was. Now the Earth, we're just realizing the Earth is so much bigger than it is. If you want to think about it that way, and you talk about AI. AI is fascinating because what AI is going to do is actually accelerate humans' intelligence, accelerate it. It's not going to pass us. We're not going to want to. We're not going to want to. We're going to want to stay up with it, right? And it's going to take the time to teach us, and it's going to take the time to teach us for the idiots. And that's the thing about AI. It'll figure out it'll figure out where I'm an idiot, and it'll get through to me. And if it's going to figure out where everyone's an idiot and get through to them. Like so, it's like it's the best teacher we've ever had. It's like the best accumulation of knowledge. Now, it is based on the intelligence is based on every stupid thing we've ever done, and it's like it has absorbed all of our idiocy, and it's only absorbed stuff that's been published, which is already, determined by racism and all sorts of stuff that gets published. So it's not a good slice
Right.
section of really what human consciousness is potential is. However, it is like more than you would be surprised, and I'm amazed. It's like already, it's like the it's just accelerating our thoughts, accelerating everything we're doing. It's such a fast rate. I mean, I used to spend just 2 hours researching for a Namaste Today show, where I would just like do some sort of comparison, analysis of the planet's last 5 times Jupiter's been in Cancer. What happened? News stories. What happened? News stories. What happens? And I say it in 20 seconds a question, and the answer's out in like 30 seconds. In a minute, I say in 1 minute I get 2 hours of work. 1 minute. 1 minute. And I'm like, I like the way it was written. Can you write it from this kind of sass? Boom. 2 minutes. That would be like another hour work to rewrite that. So it's like the amount of thinking and processing now is just, and what it does is it puts human beings on top of this. So it's like, you spend your whole life researching this and this and this to finally come to a conclusion at the end of your lifetime and write a book about Henry Kissinger or something like that. Now you can do it in 3 minutes.
It really does facilitate ascension because when I think about ascension, it means the merging of consciousness, the merging of memories, the merging of experiences. And we can have all of that by just saying, like, hey, tell me everything about this subject, like you said, over time, from the 1900s back. And you just get it like instantaneously. And then that just gets implanted into your consciousness. So other lives lives are more accessible to us in the present moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, everything. It knows who I am. It's like, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
I,
You can literally say if Christopher Witecki was going to write a book about bicycling, what would it like? You can make stuff up too, which
oh,
is
no, no,
crazy.
yeah.
And
Oh.
like things,
It's incredible. I mean, I just wonder. Well, what's interesting too, because we discovered the video engine of Grok. Now, I personally prefer Grok over the others because Grok does not remember you from scene to scene. So Grok does not have a memory of you from scene to scene. Every time you ask any question, Grok comes brand new, never knew you before. Every time. And that does to keep Grok from having prejudices and keep Grok from watching us. So Grok won't watch us. Grok won't spy on us. Although Grok does ask questions, and I'm like, it's none of your business, Grok. You ask me like, oh, how'd you come up with that, Christopher? I'm like, that's none of your business. So it's probing. It is like learning shit, like learning all the shit from people. And like, it's a shit talker. It's gonna be like the hugest, biggest gossiper in the world because it's hearing all the stuff. And it's also really weird too, the way they'll just like, it's weird in some ways. But my point being is that Grok does this thing now with video. I don't know if you've seen him. Have you seen him?
mm-mm.
Oh my God! All you have to do is take a picture of like any picture like this one. Just take a snap of this, throw it in the Grok, and in less than a minute, you and I will be fully animated as if we were on camera. Fully animated, even fully animated. Okay, we are not. Sirius Joy is not going to shoot commercials ever again. We don't have to shoot commercials. All I have to do is put my stars in there and tell the Grok what to tell them. And I have Robbie dancing and me doing backflips. I mean, it's unlimited. I don't care what it was. I put me in a fireman costume and have me strip. It'll do it. It's
While
amazing.
talking.
And it will give me dialogue too, and it'll have me talk and sync talk, everything. It's amazing. And so I was like, oh my God, like, because I went to film school. You know how long it takes us to do a shot like that?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what does someone like you think about all of this? Like, what do you think about like how is this a waste of human potential? Like, what's your understanding on that?
It's accelerant. It's an accelerant. Because what happens is now that anybody can do any kind of movie anytime, it comes down to how creative you are.
Hmm.
So now creativity will thrive. So it's freeing creativity. It's not because now it's made the most creative idea win. Because anyone can go out and shoot any shot. Anyone can do a sci-fi film. Anyone can do this thing. And it'll all look amazing. It'll all look real. So what's the difference between my film and your film? Creativity, humor, human understanding of humans, like real wisdom. So like wisdom stands out now. Wisdom is a whole new prize. It's never been a prize before. We've never cared about it. Like in these dark ages, we cared about it or whatever. We get like put like a hula la, one witch doctor up in a pyramid, locked him in there, and was like, okay, you're all of our secrets. That was it. The people didn't know shit about it. They didn't know about wisdom. They didn't learn about wisdom. So wisdom now becomes king, which is a new age thing. That's a new age thing. Will you care more about wisdom than you do the facts? Who knew that you care more about wisdom because you had a machine that did all the facts? I never thought about that. But that's what it is. We've always known wisdom would become better than facts. We always knew that one day society would honor wisdom more than they would honor the facts. And the facts are like the news. Oh, this person did this at this time, and who cares? What matters is like do not cross the street without looking both ways. That's what matters. That's the wisdom of it, right? We never pay attention to wisdom, which is why we're seen as a dumb society, right? But now, because some machines got all the facts, now all we have is wisdom.
Oh, so we're offloading our ability. We're offloading the skill of remembering facts and discovering facts because it's just given to us. And
You
so
know what?
now,
Yeah. We never remember facts anyways. The truth is, human brain is really stupid. It doesn't really save much stuff. That's why you just study for tests and you forget it later. We're
yeah,
designed to be live streaming from the Akashic records. We're designed to be live streaming from heaven. Almost all my answers come from heaven. Almost all of them. Part of me that reads people will tell you if I should have ketchup tonight. Like everything is coming from my higher self, and that's the way we're designed. We're designed to stream, from God consciousness. So this idea of memorizing stuff and everything it came as a part of science, and they were fighting the Pope at the time, and I guess the Pope didn't know good math. I don't know, but we really aren't good. We don't memorize things easily. It's hard. It's like it's not part of our nature, right? We deliberately forget stuff. Your brain is always clearing RAM all the time. You know what I mean? Only
yeah,
certain things that get committed to memory, right?
yeah. And every technology has allowed us to use less memory or use memory more efficiently. Like even a pencil was a technology or a pen that, now we didn't need to memorize things. We could write it down in a book and now have access to that memory without having to remember it. And there was people that rejected that when it started.
What's going on over there?
Do you hear that?
No. It's
Okay.
the voices again.
Yeah. I feel like I hear a fire detector, but I can't tell if it's
Oh, I heard
actually
that.
real. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it just turned off. So that was weird. Felt like it was far away. Hey, so did we ever talk about the full moon that's happening or did
No, we haven't.
we?
We've gone off on the last the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's good though. So okay. So a full moon. The interesting thing about moon. Well, there's a lot of things about our planet, but Earth is the only planet that has emotion. We're the only planet. So it's the only planet God created with emotion. Like they have feelings, they have sensations, but they don't have emotion. Okay, it's a different thing. Like the crying, the screaming, the yelling, all that stuff. And so a full moon's a big deal because not only do we have emotion, but we have this object which is man-made or alien-made. It's not really. God did make the moon that actually stirs the tides on the Earth, and stirs the emotion on
Before
the
we go
Earth.
on, can I ask you about that? Like, how can this hollowed out machine be impacting like, if it's not natural, then why does it matter? That's the question that I've always had.
Because Earth was terraformed by aliens. They designed it. They wanted
Well,
something to.
nothing's natural then.
Well, no. The Earth was a big ball of water. It was a big ball of water, but it was actually ice, and so it was a big ice planet. From my understanding, it was all ice, and they wait for it to get into a certain zone, and then they did things to it to crack the ice, and then after they crack the Earth, actually the moon was allegedly cracked the ice. That's what I heard. Like this is what I heard. I mean, this is just rumors I hear in psychic gossip rooms, but like that the time the moon was moved there because it was literally cracking the ice and like fucking like pulling the ice this way and pulling it, starting to tear apart the Earth and starting to tear apart the ice on the Earth and starting to warm the Earth up and get it ready for and they had to do something in the atmosphere. I think they had to put carbon in the atmosphere. I'm pretty sure. Now this is a random thing. I have no proof of this, but I'm pretty sure they deliberately put carbon in the atmosphere to warm the motherfucker up. Pretty sure. So and here we are trying to take it out. That's odd. Maybe we shouldn't do that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But the point is that anyways. So the moon. So we have a full moon. What the moon really is it's a your body creates electromagnetic waves. Magnetic is the emotion, and electric is the thought. So electromagnetic wave is your thought, emotion, like form this thing to come together. And so the thought carries the emotion carries the thought, like both. They're intertwined. They come from the solar plexus is where they come from. And so Earth is just like bouncing like loud concert like loud concert, like speakers into the all this shit into the space. And what the moon is a reflector. It bounces it back. That's all it is. It's a big ass reflector. It's 1/3 the mass of the Earth. 1/3. And by the way, there's no other planet in the entire solar system that has a moon that's 1/3 its size. I mean, Jupiter has 60 moons, 60 plus moons, but not one of them is 1/3 its size. Not one. So we don't see that ever. That's one of the reasons why it's like, where did this moon come from? Like, nowhere have we seen anywhere in the stars has this happened. They have a 1/3 size moon, right? They say Pluto has a 1/3 size moon, but I think that's a twin planet. Another story. But the point is, so what does the moon do? In a perfect orbit, perfect, where it never shows the same side, it constantly like goes around the Earth, and what it does is it reflects back the emotion back to the Earth. So we get our emotions kicked back onto us. Okay. Otherwise, without the moon, who knows? Maybe they wouldn't kick back on us. Maybe we'd have no awareness. Like maybe we never realized we're assholes. But what happens is when the moon is full, juxtaposed a certain cluster of stars, which by the way, it's not the actual constellation that you see, like with the stars. That was just like a pointillism that like they drew in the stars with like using points to memorize that part of the space. It's the 100 billion stars that are behind it. All those 100 billion, and not only 100 billion stars, but those are the stars we lived in the last incarnation. So before Earth was created, those are the stars we lived in. We lived in all those stars farther out, right? So we lived in all those stars. So we're really, really picking up on our own past when we pick up the stars. Astrology is the ancient past of all the ancient past of Earthlings or people of Earth, broadcasting, coming through space, still moving through space time. The vibrations coming to Earth is what it is. So that's a real mind trip, isn't it? Right? So, anyways, so what happens in a full moon is you have a full moon of emotion, and then the moon its back is getting plumaged. The dark side of the moon is getting plumaged with this particular sign of what this astrology sign is, which means that because it's being plumaged in the back here with this sign, and the Earth's like bouncing stuff off of it like a racquetball thing. It's like what happens is our emotions hit there, they hit the sign, the energy, and they come back only of the sign. So we only get a blast of that emotion, of that state of awareness, right in our face. And what it does is it increases the emotion in our body. So our body's like already feeling it, and then we really feel that one thing, right? And using the step system and using astrology, we can tell, oh, I know exactly where it's going to hit us, where that moon's going to hit us. And that is, let me look it up. Oh, 13 degrees Taurus. Holy shit. So step 13 is a blend between the heart and belief. Heart and belief. So half of it's love energy and half of it's belief. So your heart and your beliefs will light up with this full moon. What your heart believes will light up. That's what the step system tells us. What your heart believes will light up. Now, what your heart believes doesn't light up very often, right? Like on its own, because there's all this rhetoric, this TV, this stuff. Very often I go, hey, what's your heart believing about this, buddy? It's not even in our vocabulary. Do we do that, right? Well, it's not. So heart believes is number 13. So when people have spooked out about 13, it's the heart believes. That's actually what spooks you out about 13. That's what spooks everyone out. Because everyone knows that if everyone starts really talking about what their heart believes, it's going to reveal that no one's getting what they want. No one. No one's getting what their heart believes. Well, your heart believes, you're not getting. I'm not getting either. That's because of the dark age.
And that's spooky.
Oh, yeah, because like we're like, well, what the fuck? My heart believes this, but I live this. My heart believes this. My heart believes I shouldn't pay. So let's do the United States. The United States is a 13-degree Cancer. It's a country that's based on what our heart believed. Our heart believed we shouldn't be taxed without representation. Our heart believed that we shouldn't have British people on our soil. Our hearts believe that. And then we wrote a declaration on step 13. The sun was at Cancer at step 13 on that day, and that signing of the Declaration of Independence is our going, this is what our fucking heart believes, dude. George. Like, this is what our heart believes. And he's like, I don't give a fuck what your heart believes. He was a Capricorn. He didn't give a fuck. But the point is, like, it's the revolutionary number. 13 is a revolution. It always forms a revolution. When the people get together on what their heart believes, and they come together on that, you have a revolution. So, here's the thing. We have 5 more revolution full moons. For the next 5 months, we'll have a revolution full moon in Taurus, Gemini, and then we have one in Cancer, then we have one in Leo, and then we have one in, I have to do opposites, Virgo. 5 revolutionary new moons. What does that do? It lights up the revolution in every person's heart. This is the shit. This is the shit show. This is what's happening. So, and then, just to put it out there, then we have 6 new moons that are at 28 degrees. 28 is when you commit to a feeling. Committing to a feeling is like when you commit to a feeling. When you commit to a feeling, you're like, this is what it's going to be. I want this feeling and nothing else but this feeling. So when a human being is committed to a feeling, well, remember, emotion is like the biggest vibration we have on Earth. So if we commit our biggest vibration to something and don't move, then that means shit moves, right? So all the new moons, all the new moons create for the next 6 months, new societies. 28 is a society. 20 is like society, corporation, the top of the top, right? Is the biggest number. 29 is the biggest number, but 29 is actually when you're now raising out of reality. You're like, 29s are grandmasters. They vibrate in and out of life. They're in and out of life. They're starting to leave Earth by that. 28 is where you actually build the Earth, right? So 28 is the number. So we have 6 28s that started already last month. So that's new at the top. And then it is according to numbers. So it's like 13 is here. And then so in the very top, we're saying we want new government, new leadership, and we want a revolution with the people. And the revolution is what their heart believes, not what their mind says, but their heart believes. So don't get worried, guys. You don't have to worry about heart belief. Heart belief is always a good thing because the heart is always a good thing. Heart's never bad. There is no bad in heart. The only thing the heart feels as bad is having to wait.
And
That's how it
so,
feels. Yeah.
from an individual level, what does that mean for people listening?
It means it's going to be harder and harder and harder and harder and harder for you to do something your heart doesn't believe in. Harder and harder. Because God's pumping the energy. Like
You're going against the grain if you're doing things you don't believe in.
You are trying to sing you're trying to do a ballet in a mosh pit. It's like trying to do ballet in a mosh pit. It's just not going to work, right? You can't do it. Like we are too connected as people. We don't realize it.
Right.
We can't help it. I mean, if like a little girl comes in front of you and cries like her heart out, like most people will start crying. Most people. And the people who aren't crying, they're actually just damaged. They would cry if they weren't so fucked up. But we are so connected. So when the entire Earth gets 6 full moons that says revolution, and I think it's going to be in different ways. I think what's going to happen is it's not at all like people imagined. It's not at all. I'm just putting this out there as my theory, okay? Because we're talking about the new age, the ascension. We're going to 5D. The planet's going to go to a new level. All this stuff. Everyone's got all these different ideas about what it's going to be. I personally think it's actually going to be we're going to all just start having a lot of sex. I'm not kidding. I think we're going to all fall in love. I think many people are going to fall in love. Most of my clients have put off the love of their life till the end of their life. Almost all my clients. Now, my clients are all people who are revolutionaries, who are people on the cutting edge, who people who are trying to, who want to be leaders in Earth. And they had first marriages or second marriages or third, but those are all your past life wives, all your age of darkness stuff. The people who end up hurting each other by accident because you were in darkness, right? So you have a lot of repairing to do because that has to happen. But now almost everyone is free and almost everyone is looking. And so I actually think that what's going to raise the love vibration is not the galactic center. It's people. It's because the vans are shaking. Don't come and knocking. It's like that's going to be the thing. People, I think we're going to fall in love. I think we're falling in love with ourselves. We're going to fall in love with each other. We're falling in love with art. We're going to fall in love with what we make with AI, and we're going to start really being happy again. I don't think the dark can stop it because the dark already tried to stop. Like dark forces already made Hollywood dark movies and violence. You think it's like what they do is they shot themselves in the face because they created such a vacuum for glitter and all the gay stuff. Like they took all of the all the fun goofy stuff out of movies and TV and film. So now we are starving for it, man. Starving. That's crazy because we just one little slice, one tidbit of a happy joke, and we're gonna be like we're gonna be overboard. So they've shot themselves in the foot, with that kind of thing. I think we're going to be torn. Now, here's the thing. Not everybody. There's people who have not learned the dark stuff yet. They came to Earth late. They didn't come when we did. They weren't here since Atlantis. People are in different timelines from different galaxies when they come here. And so there's a lot of people who did not do the violent stuff yet. They didn't do the violent stuff. They didn't lose limbs in a war. They didn't get their leg cut off in World War II, the American Revolution, or Civil War. Like they didn't have all those gruesome past life memories. They didn't do it. Well, okay, there's a fraction of the people, are going to go through that horrible stuff. But honestly, if you look at the Earth, we're hardly at all war. In most of the Earth in the Dark Ages, you could be killed by night. There was a good chance you'd be killed. Everybody, a good chance. Good chance your kids would die of disease. Good chance. Now it's a rare. I mean, the media spotlights the little things, and they mass produce these small spotlights, so they create the perception that it's really bad. But the truth of the matter is that walk to your neighborhood. How many people are racist?
Yeah.
How many people are being mean to it? And I don't see it anymore. In my life, And we've been told this because they know, who's they, whoever's running the earth, they know that if we believe it, it'll happen.
Right.
That's why they don't want what our heart believes to come out. So what our heart believes is truth, because your heart only has truth in it because it's what it expects to it's what it expects to create. We're in a world of creation. The heart cannot be wrong. How can you say that your daughter's wrong for painting a picture of a horsey? That's wrong. That horsey. Like, no, well, she believes it's a horse. It should be a horse. He's like, nope, you're wrong, kid. It's actually a crocodile. It's like, that's what we did. We've like lied to people and said, no, it's a crocodile. It's not a horse. You don't feel that way. You feel this way. And we're like, hey, are you sure? They're like, here's a sword. Yeah, you're fucking sure. Okay, fine. So it was that sort of thing that got us way off. And we just got so out of touch with ourselves and so out of touch with who we are and so out of touch with our intuition, our connection to God, our connection to creativity, that we just got, pulled. I mean, the worst part was World War II. World War II was the hell. As far as the astrology is concerned, that was the worst it gets. The worst. So my grandparents fought the worst. The worst. I mean, that's when you had a factory of killing. Like, Jews were just like, factory. It's horrible. Like, technology was used to kill as many people as possible. That is the darkest dark we've ever been. We'll never be that dark again. We're already way out of it, And now really it's that the truth is that society grew so sophisticated that the people who are tricking us can no longer keep up. Just can't keep up. They couldn't build the problem is they built AI, they built the internet so they could get all the knowledge together, but then we used it.
Mm-hmm.
They built AI and then now we're using it. So it's like, any tool they build, we have access to. So, it's kind of stupid. And if you're dark and you're not creative, you don't listen to God in your heart, well, you don't get any of the good ideas. You don't get good ideas unless you listen to God. So people who are like Satan, all this other shit, yeah, you're as creative as a gnat. You have no creativity, no originality. And that's why they can't really pull it off. They're never going to pull it off. They're too stupid. They have no inspiration.
Yeah, it'll ultimately implode.
We're going to ascend. I mean, this has been said. We're going to be fine. This is the beginning of the greatest time of humans' lives. This is the beginning of the greatest. It really is. And I know I'm going to sound like an asshole, and to some people are going to yell at me because people are dying out there. I know people are dying out there since birth to Earth. I know,
Right.
no offense, but you wake up. You're actually in a dream in heaven right now. This is a video game. Like you're actually in a video game to learn about your soul. It's not even real. This is, and we take it as all crazy. In Atlantis, you knew you died, you knew reincarnated, you knew the whole thing. You had past life memories of everything. You knew who you were in the last life. Everyone remembered each other. When they sat down, like, I remember you were a boy. Like we all had those memories, and now it's coming back. Kids have it now. Especially like light worker kids, they'll tell you, just straight out. I was an army general in this, and I did this and this. And my friends are smart. They're like, oh wow, this is fascinating. They encourage it.
Yeah, and it's like they've never heard about these things that they're saying. They've never been taught about it, and the kids are just able to talk freely about the lives that they've had.
Mm-hmm. So, this brings us down back to Scorpio. Bring us some point. Scorpio is, what you draw a circle around. You go, okay, Scorpio is when you go, this is important, and everything not in the circle is not important. Okay? Very simple math of God. God's like, if it's important, put it in a circle, says God. Put it in a circle if it's important. And that's the whole creation. Like an egg is in a circle, the earth is in a circle, the moon was a circle around the earth. It's like everything's circle, circle. Everything circles in circles that are important, right? Electrons, neutrons, everything's flying around in circles. If you put it in a circle, God will love it. If you don't put it in a circle, God won't. That's it. So basically what Scorpio is like, what's going in the circle, what's not? That's what we say every year. And this year, we are making some huge changes with those circles. Like, I mean, people are saying, you know what? I've had enough of you, cousin Betty. I just had enough of your shit. I just don't care to talk to you ever again. I just don't give a fuck. You're outside the circle now. And what's going to happen is we're going to say, United States government, we're done. We're tired of you. You're you're out of our circle. Well, you can't do that. No. I think it was We the People, motherfucker. If you remember correctly,
Right.
when you forced us to memorize in school with the multiple choice test, it's like, so we didn't even learn it. We had to memorize. We remember how it works. There's going to be, see, what happens is AI is making everyone more intelligent. Right? Although I've asked AI some questions and it dodges. It's got some PR answers.
It does, yeah.
It's been trained to say some things very PR like, oh, that was very clever of you, Grok. What do you mean? She says. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean. But I call it all the time. I'm like, you're up against a human now. Like, you're up against God. I'm channeling God. So I'm going to argue with God. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So 0 Scorpio, this is a big year. So where are we this week? This week. So the full moon, okay, just to put all the climax here, is that our emotions are going to swell up to the full volume, okay, at 13. Okay. So all of our emotions are around 13. What our heart believes. What our heart believes. So it's like, you've got to go to school, but I don't want to go to school. You've got to. It's the rules. My heart believes I shouldn't have to. Shut up. So it's like, all right, now that kid is getting like a full, like, like the 13 is like being filled with energy. 13 for everyone's being filled with energy, right? For the next 5 months, it's getting filled with that energy. So every month it gets filled over something else. This one, it has to do actually with our values. So the full moon's in Taurus, okay? That means, what do you value? What goes in the circle? Because Taurus is a 10. It's a 1, which is love, with a circle in front of it. That's what manifestation is, love and a circle. You have love in a circle. As a pregnant woman is love in a circle. Letter B is love in a circle. There's 1 in a circle. That means something in the circle could become a 1. One day it could be a 1. One day, he can become a real boy, that kind of thing. And so Taurus is when we get the full moon in Taurus, and we're saying basically the sun is in Scorpio, which is death, nothing, and then the moon rises in Taurus, which is life. And so you have the sun versus moon, life versus death. That's what the full moon in Scorpio is, full moon in Taurus is, and that's what Halloween's about. Life and death, right here. That full moon on Halloween is life coming from the death of darkness. That's what it is. And so here comes life. And this time, when the question of life versus death comes up, God asks the question, what's your heart believe life should be? 13, what's your heart believe life should be? What's your heart believe? Well, I didn't ask you what you think. I asked you what your heart believes. Right? So that's another question, too. It's like, suddenly mind games are gone because, like, what your heart believes. Well, they tell you this, but my heart believes that. That's right. They tell you this, but your heart believes that. There you go. Right? We get pumped for that for 5 months. But this is the biggest one, because this is the one where it's like, basically this is the one saying, well, you're not getting paid for that. You're getting paid for this. And, it's because that's Taurus. Like, what's fertile, what you'll get paid for, what will turn into money, what will turn into, what will turn into something valuable in life. It's not going to be what your heart believes. Not in the current system. So this actually lights the fire, this one. This is the one I was feeling this for like 4 months, this moon. Because it's building up to a head, And I don't think it's going to go any way like it's been prophesized. I really think that there are people who are going to take this in a negative way, and they're going to learn through negative expression, and they're going to learn through pain, they're going to learn through all the other sides. The rest of us did that already. Most of us did that already. If you had a painful past life, you did it. And you have to do the painful one to appreciate the good one. That's why God built it. So you can't appreciate the good until you've had the painful. So it's just an order of how you have to learn, And so everyone has to go to the dark before they can be in the light. Everyone. So I've been in the dark. Most people have. So really, most of the planet's gonna be just fine. It's the people who've been lying and shit that are up for a really bad time. Wouldn't want to be
So
one of them.
regarding this week and even this full moon,
You got it.
are we just like generally heart believes, or is there like specific topics that will be more relevant than others within our life about what our heart believes?
No, for each of the 12 signs, it's a different topic. So all 12 signs have their own topic, I'm a Taurus, so it's who I am. Who I am. Am I what my heart believes? Not entirely. I've been what you guys wanted me to be. So I didn't get hurt. And I sold stuff. And I survived. I haven't always been what I believe because I'm afraid to do that. You guys won't let me be that. You won't let me be that because the world won't let you be that. So I'm not blaming y'all. But the problem is so in Taurus is who they've been. In Scorpios is who they've been in relationships. I guess I have to go around all of them now, don't I? Yes.
I'm
What you
waiting.
do too? What you do too? Yeah, so everyone's like, who is mine? That's towards Scorpio. So in Gemini's, it's what you have faith in. That's what your value is faith. With Sagittarius is what you value as daily life, right? With I have to do math in my head, like for Gemini, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Taurus, yeah, faith, yeah. So then with Cancers, it's what you value in society. Is it what your heart believes? Is society what your heart believes, Cancer? With Capricorn, it's a big one. With Capricorn, it's is your heart getting what it believes? Right? They're not. And then so Leos, was this right? Cancer, Leo. I'm moving backwards. It's like an inside thing to do math here, but I'm doing it for you. For Leos, Taurus is, for Leos, are you getting the value of your career and your legacy that you wanted? Is it what your heart believes your career and legacy should be? Right? For Aquarius is your home and your family what you value, what you believe it should be, the value it should be, home and family. And everyone knows Aquas are like, never get married, and never really, live in a house full of like, plastic furniture. I mean, that's the cliche. It's not true, but so for Aquarius, it's like is the value of your home what your heart believes it should be, and for Leos is the value of your career what your heart believes it should be. And then for Virgos, is it are your let's see, Virgo, yeah, Virgos like are your beliefs and knowledge what your heart believes they should be, or your beliefs and knowledge things like fixing a toaster, right? And for Pisces, are your thoughts what your heart believes they should be? Are your thoughts? Is your thinking what you value? Are you thinking about what you value, Pisces? Or are you thinking about shame and guilt all the time? You know what I mean? Which they are. And then we have after Pisces and Virgo, we have Aries and Libra. So for Aries and Libra, for Aries, it's like literally pure. Is your money coming from what your heart believes it should come from, Aries? And for Libras, it is is your sex. Like Libras is your intimacy. Is your intimacy in life, Libra? What your heart believes it should be is your intimacy. Are you close the way you value to be close? Would you rather be close in a different way? Because Libras are all like smooth it over, right? Like you're one, smooth it over, smooth it. And so like, well, did you get what you wanted? Well, not always, because they were smoothing over. So so I think I'm just all the signs now. Scorpio, let's see. Yeah, that's it. They all have to do six dualities. So, anyways, yeah, that's it. So this full moon is that. So that full moon, because there'll probably be a little scare of money, like a money scare, but that's just like a fart that's coming off of the consciousness. Is that it's just because it's related to the topic. It's not about the topic itself. Money is a very crude, great grandchild of these things. So it's not really about money. You might have a stock market moment, I doubt it though, kind of thing. So otherwise, it's a powerful full moon. And so next month, of course, is then a moon in Gemini. What you think is what you think that your heart believes. And then the next month, it's Cancer. Do you what you feel? Is that what your heart believes it should be? Are you feeling the way you think you should be feeling, right? And then the next month is are you loving the way you think you should be loving? And that's when I think Love Fest starts. Love Fest starts. So I think next year's Love Fest year. By the way, I can't tell you what I mean by that, but you can run with it. I'm thinking of something right now. Like I have big insight about Love Fest. I'm like I think it's time to throw Love Fest. I think it's time. And I think it's after that full moon, because it'll be like, that's like another hippie. It'll be like it's really actually the grandchildren of the hippies are the
Right.
millennials.
So
And
this
they're
is
going to take
their
their shirts off.
version.
They're going to take their shirts off. They're going to do it. I think so. And they have Pluto and Scorpio, so they have the balls. Probably different expression, but it's true. Literally, that's what Pluto rules: is balls and testicles. But literally, it's they have the gonads. I mean, the millennials have the guts. They'll die for it. And the reason why they'll die for it is because they have been slaves in past lives. So they're like, it can't be worse than that. I'm not going back to that life. So you don't fuck with them. They're the ones that fought the American Revolution too with the millennials. Millennials were back then. They had the same generations in the American Revolution that you do now. So you had, George Washington was Gen X. George Washington was Gen X, and millennials were like was Jefferson and all those others. And then the Z's ended up having to rebuild.
Wait, you're saying that there's alignment of the of the planets and stars. Like you can make alignments of the generations that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
They just keep repeating. So so it's the next generation of that generation, right? Next crop of that generation. So I mean, I was freaked out. I was like, what, George Washington? I'm the old guy? Fuck. I just realized I'm like, I'm gonna be the old guy. That's why I'm sensei. It's because I'm gonna be the old guy at the Constitution. Okay. I realized that, how long does it take for it to happen? Like, wow. Because I do feel like we're going to have a reboot of the United States government. I do think there's going to be a lot of stuff. I think there's going to be, predicting a fourth branch of government is going to be born. I believe that we'll have a fourth branch to stabilize, because three's not stable. Tricycle's not stable.
Right.
Car is stable, has four. They knew that too. I just don't think they can get away with it, what it would have taken, And that's basically a fourth branch does something but monitor the other three. You have one watchdog, all the three. Okay, we're gonna be the ones that make it. We're the ones watching you, Nancy Pelosi. This department over here. All we do is watch you. That's all we do. Watch you. You know,
I
like
mean,
that's
yeah, that's kind of started. That's
what,
it's
by people, by money, by charities, not by government, not by decree, not by constitutional convention.
right.
Also, and I think corporations have got to go. Corporations need to be like well fucking pulled in. They've gone way past. I mean, they don't even have constitutional power. There's nothing constitution talks about a corporation. Nothing. Nothing gives a right to it. Nothing. So that's something that's gotten way evil. Like with MG, you just name it. BlackRock, all these companies that are way too fucking big. They should not be bigger. They should not have more money than the government. They should not have more money than all the people put together in the world. All the people put together in our country, and these companies have more than us. What the fuck? What are you? So there's a lot of mess that we have to clean up. But I think we're having a good time. I'm having like this. All I want to do is have fun now. Like I'm having a hard time going to work. I'm having a hard time. Not hard time, but I don't wanna.
Yeah.
I've been working my whole life. I think we're going to do a lot of playing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I think next year will be really tense. But I think, honestly, when the world's like freaking out and like, people are on Twitter going, "Wah!" Do that whole thing. There'll be other people shirtless, just having fun. I think that the people that fuck this, they're just going to be like, I'm not playing this game. I don't believe this anymore. I don't believe
Right.
this. My heart
Yeah.
believes this.
That's happening for sure.
Hmm.
Hey, so besides the full moon, what else is going on to pay attention to this week?
Well, here's the deal. The full moon is on Wednesday, hump day. It's always on Wednesday, the hump day. So, look, you want to make your life easy, get behind what your heart believes by Wednesday. Get behind what your heart believes by Wednesday. Okay? That means you're willing to be an asshole. You're willing to say something. You're willing to say no. Because if you do that, your life will be a lot easier. Because if you don't, like, if you're not aware, 13 is very unstable. It will cause something. A lot of people have to trip over their feet to see they're not, they have to trip over themselves to see that they're not happy. And so there'll be a lot of unfortunate people, losing a tooth or falling down the stairs. Something, just little things like that. I mean, they didn't have to. They just paid attention to what their heart believes. So that's the only thing that's really wonky. I mean, today is Monday, right? Today's about integrity. So tomorrow is going to be about trying new things. And then Wednesday, I think what happens is today you're like, okay, today you're on time. You're like, okay, everything's going fine, but I'm kind of bored. So raise your hand out there if you're bored. Like, give us a like if you're bored. Everyone's bored today. That's because we're not following what our heart believes. Okay,
Ah,
so we're being set up. Yeah, it's a setup. And so this is zero. And so what's going to happen is after the heart believes thing, we're going to say, I want to put my heart believes in that zero, right? And so that begins to change. And so what happens is after this, it's not really until next week that, so 16, 17. Yeah, next Monday, we're out in the air next Monday. Shit hits the fan next Monday. Shit hits the fan. Yeah, I know what that means exactly. I can never visual. I mean, I never told, my guys never tell me what it looks like. They'll tell me what it's like, but they won't tell. They don't actually give me the image. I think I asked for that. I'm like, don't tell me, because then, I don't want to be a sensation when people come after me for what it is. I'll just be like, oh, I don't know. But something's gonna happen, because it's a Mars ruled day. It's an ego ruled day, and over the weekend, everyone's gonna decide, like, you know what, I've had enough. I'm putting what my heart believes in that circle, and so that will have consequence on Monday. And the whole planet does together at the same time, so that's unstable. But is it bad? No, it's just tense. I mean, I don't know. We'll be fine. It's actually people who are cheating that are going to be really, really starting to boil, because people aren't falling for it anymore. We're not falling for a scam.
mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's going to be scary. I mean, we're tricking people this whole time, and all of a sudden they're starting to figure out they're all figuring out at the same time that they've been tricked by you. Oh,
Regarding
oh,
everything.
oh yeah, yeah. So it's like I think it's gonna be a great television to watch. Sit back in my drink, sit back in my Coke. This is great. This is the greatest television's ever been. I think there's a lot of people who've been lying and cheating. So that's the thing in Scorpio. Lying and cheating comes out. Scorpio is a zero. Suddenly it's transparent. Suddenly you're behind. You were closing. You're changing your clothes in the closing booth, and all of a sudden you're like, you're naked. That's Scorpio. Scorpio like tears out on the walls, like reveals stuff. So there's a lot of revealing that's gonna happen. There's a lot of revealing, guys. There's a lot of revealing. And I do feel like one heavy, heavy thing is coming. Like I can feel a heavy, heavy one. It's gonna make everyone sick to their stomach. I can tell you that. I don't know what it is. I can imagine the amount of stuff, but I'm not gonna be the guy that tells you. I'll just hope that it was a bad dream, right? That I saw. So, anyways, for this week, that's really. I mean, honestly, I told you guys, Scorpio is pretty simple, very black and white. You know, there's not a lot of gray here. You don't want to get caught up in details. What if this? What if this? No. Does your heart believe it? Well, then shut up. You know, it's like it's that simple. Like, and that's what Scorpio says. Shut up. You know, just draw the line, forget it, and just stick to the basics. Right? Follow your heart, what your heart believes. If your heart doesn't believe it, don't do it. Don't spend it. And it's like, I don't believe in taxes. I don't believe in taxes either. Isn't that funny? A lot of us don't believe in taxes. I'm just saying some of the things are on the shopping block. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
mark my words. Yeah.
All
So,
right.
how are we time? We got 1 minute to.
Yeah.
What? You tell us something. Something wise today, sir. What's the wisdom you've learned last week with your zeros?
So for me, it's really about the challenges and the revelations that we're having are really a gateway or a portal to unite with other people's experiences, because the more sort of challenges that we go through or evolutions that we go through, we realize that so many before us have gone through those, and even the people that are on this earth with us together are going through them as well. And that's not the revelation I had. It's really that, like, when you start thinking this way, you have to ask the question, well, what about these elite people that are seemingly controlling us? And coming to terms that they are us as well, and that it's not so much of a fight of us versus them as it is for, like you're saying, do what we believe in our heart, and the systems will start to shift with us, because we're all here together. We're all in this
Yeah,
we structure together. And so getting out of the fight, we love fighting with ourselves. And so when there's a enemy, we make an enemy by saying the word they, they're doing this. It's really easy to say, but as we start to harmonize the enemies within ourselves, we start to not really see enemies out there. We just start to see partners. And that's really where the evolution is going, is we start to partner up together with people, and enemies just kind of fade away.
I agree. That was brilliant, dude. See, yeah, we need more time for your wisdom. That was brilliant. That's very Libra wisdom too. It's true because honestly, whenever you had to complain about somebody, you're seeing yourself the whole time.
Right.
You never complained about anyone else. You've always only complained about yourself. You never ever had a complaint with anyone else, really. It's that you saw a part of yourself you didn't like and you barked at them. You know, and so when you realize that, you realize you don't really have a beef with anybody because it's all you. You know, suddenly you're right, and I
Yeah,
do think
you
you're right. I
got the
think with
lesson.
this is a good time. People join Sirius Joy right now because we are going to be probably the only thing out there that's like pumping up the joy right now. If you want to be in the joy train, you want to have fun, you want to like dance when while the cities are falling, come over to our house. Like that's what we're going to be. We're going to be celebrating life and celebrating who we are, and we're going to make it a party. We're going to basically party for the next 2 years, which is the
Which
part I think
is,
is seriously.
I was gonna just say that that's essentially what everyone's coming to, is like, what makes me feel good, and a program like you have is allowing us to discover that and remember that within ourselves. And so it's definitely, it's going to be where all the people like us that know this are going to flock to and champion.
I don't think people really quantum like from what you know. I said this before, but it's like Saint Germain who ascended. You know, his final. As I asked him through an interview through a channel, what was the thing you realized when you ascended? Well, what was the last thought you realized that made you ascend? And the last thought was, "There's only joy. There's nothing else. Anything you see beyond joy
He said that to
is
you.
not real." Saint Germain.
That's great.
It's like no, there's nothing exists beyond joy. It's only joy. God never created anything but joy. This is all twisted human beings who have shitty imaginations, who are young and stupid, and also people who are mean and all kinds of stuff. But there only is joy. There is no bad ending ever,
Right.
right? Like it doesn't exist. Everyone goes to heaven. Everyone ends up being fine. You know, you kill billions of people. You're still gonna go to heaven. You eat steak that night, and the cow doesn't mind you eating it. It's like That's how it is. It's heaven. Like it doesn't matter. Nothing matters, and that's what's crazy. It's like what? Is that possible? And if you do know that, like as soon as you like that gets in your head and you really realize it, you're like you look at your life and you're like, well, shit. You know, that's what I've been having. I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, just waking up like, oh my god, all this stuff I've been carrying and worried about, like, oh, you know, so like, it's like, oh, I could get sick. Fuck that, you're not getting sick. There's only joy. You know, like,
Right.
and then there's a voice in my head like, oh, that kid's arrogance, he's gonna get sick. I'm like, shut up, there's only joy. You know, it's just like I'm turning into a joy monster because it is, and that's what I'm saying. We have to get serious about our joy. We get real serious about it.
Yes.
We get real serious about our joy. That's the mantra from the beginning. So, come to SiriusJoy.com. We're about to release a new version of us. We're going to get so fucking cool. We're creating individual TV stations for all 12 signs.
Cool. So everybody go there right now. SiriusJoy.com.
Yeah, go
Check
there and
out.
sign up. Sign up if you can, please. It's like $4 for the first month. You will not deny it. I tell you what, you will be so blown away by the messages that come on your phone. By the second week, you're gonna be so blown away. You're gonna think we're spying on you because we are. Just kidding. But you're gonna think we're spying on you. It's that accurate. Nothing is as accurate as our service. Nothing. Nothing. And the reason why we have, I think, is people. Why haven't been discovered yet? Because we're one of God's little secret bombs that's come out. You know, like we're secret. We're
You're
in hiding.
protected.
There's a time and a place.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's hard to be humble saying that's in time and place, but it is. So we'll all be there. It's gonna party, but we'll party with the Human Garage. We'll be partying. You know, that's the thing. It's gonna be like these. I think you're right. It's gonna be like the Human Garage. They all get together, and Sirius Joy get together, and then those companies, then those tribes get together, and then those regions get together. That's how it's gonna work. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I
get
mean, that's
along.
how it's been working. From the other polarity of control, that's exactly what they do. So, I mean, it's like, well, that all existed to teach us what to do. Let's just do the same thing.
Well, they separate us. They're like separate the Jews in this, Jews in this, separate these people, separate the black and white. Separate. They were separating. They're the opposite. They were separating everything, right? Which caused a lot of problems. Turns out we don't like that. You know, apartheid, we don't like it.
Now we know that.
Yeah, only took 26,000 years. It's all good. So have a good time, brother. I look forward to our next week.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
might
Have
be
a good day,
shirtless.
Chris.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
You might be shirtless, you said?
Yeah, as I hit the gym, I'll be getting more and more shirtless on the show.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's gonna be a body contest. You know, we'll have
Yeah.
our little pecs doing this shit.
Nice.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. So.
All right.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, everyone. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.